Hey. I haven't let anyone else in yet. I can't see her on there though.
Hey, babe.
Hello. I can't see her in the waiting room.
Her name.
Yep.
She's got the right number.
Should I just admit all?
I might mute myself. My kids are a bit feral.
Yeah. Should I just admit everyone?
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Go for it.
Here we go. Hello, 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 everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Eat that.
Lucas really likes colour.
Oh, he's still out in the sunshine, Brett. Lovely. Okay. Can you guys all make sure that you are muted, please? Except for you, Kim. If you are on, here we go, Kim. Yep, I can see Kim.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, hello, beautiful. Okay,
How are
I'm just
you?
going to give it another second because everyone's just sort of frantically getting on at the moment. I couldn't see you in the waiting room and I was like, where's her name?
Oh, my,
Like, that's the right number.
No, I'm here. My computer went to sleep, so I lost the little message. So
Okay, that is why. Yeah, because I was like, I can't see her anywhere. Okay. Climbing, climbing, climbing. Okay, well, I think we'll get started. It's 4:01 by my clock. I'm just going to make sure that my phone is on silent. Okie dokie. Okay, just make sure that you're all muted, guys, because it's really distracting when we're talking. If we can hear you. All right. Okay, so hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us this afternoon for our half hour of power. And well done on plugging in and making your business a priority. We know how important that is. So as you all know, our beautiful MVP, Danielle Moore, is off traveling around, and she is traveling around the outdoors with her beautiful family at the moment. So I get the absolute pleasure of introducing our guest speaker today. We have the beautiful Kim Mgann here with us. Now, Kim is a recently promoted National Vice President, which is super, super, super exciting. And she's going to be talking about mindset, the law of attraction, and sponsoring. So I don't know about you guys, but those are like right up my alley, and I'm so excited to hear from her today. And I know that Danielle was really, really appreciative that you agreed to do the call. So we do thank you, Kim. We really do appreciate you taking the time to pour into us today. And on that note, I am going to hand it over to Kim and mute myself.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And Danielle, thank you for trusting me with your amazing team. So it is a real honor when somebody asks you to, you know, give some tips and things to their team. So I appreciate you guys just showing up for this on your afternoon. That's amazing. So I'm coming to you from Nelson Bay. I've lived here for about 14 years. I've got 4 kids. And my background is actually in the beauty industry. I've had businesses in owning beauty salons, and I built quite a big hair and makeup agency for brides, doing weddings for many years as well. But I've been doing Arbonne for 4 years now, and I can tell you that it's been absolutely the smartest business decision that I have ever made. Give me a wave if you're like a busy person, because I'm like mega busy. Yeah, everyone. My husband has another business as well that I help him run, and of course 4 kids. And in my other businesses, you know what, like I always have loved what I've done. I've always been so grateful to have my own business. I haven't had a job since I was 20. So I've always been an entrepreneur, you know, doing what I want, following my passions. But what I found when I had my wedding hair and makeup business was that as big as my business was growing, my family was growing just as big at the same time. And weddings, you have to be out on the weekends. So I would go out to the wedding area and I would be out there. It's like an hour and a half from where I was living. and I'd be out there all day while my husband was at the beach with the kids. So I got pretty tired of that, right? And I can see that Arbonne is just such an incredible way for us to, you know, leverage our time, build a community of people who want to do what we do. Obviously, we are in the right business at the right time with all of the right products. And I really believe that when someone offers it to you and you make the decision to say yes to be here, it's for a reason. It is no accident that somebody asked you and that you had the courage to say yes. And I feel like that was the same thing for me, even though I know we don't always say yes straight away. And I will put my hand up and say, I actually said no to Arbonne for like 18 months straight. So, you know, it's not always instant, but once I decided to join, that was when I made the decision that I would actually get to the top and be a national vice president one day. So I hope you guys have done the same thing, which leads me into what I want to talk to you about, because, you know, I believe that you can have all of the skills around how to do this business. I believe that we are so fortunate that everybody has the same website, everybody has the same price point, everyone has the same products. We get to see all the same training, but what is the one thing that's different? And if you guys want to chat to me while we go, I'll just pull up that so I can see you all, because, you know, I don't want to just talk at you for half an hour. You can chat in there and I would love that. What is the different thing that we've all got? What is the one thing that is going to make the difference? It's you, right? You personally. We are different. That's right, Emma. It's you. So I really do believe that it is our mindset and what we're thinking about, what results we want to bring into our life, and then, of course, the action. But I really want to talk about what we're thinking about. I want to talk to you about the law of attraction tonight, but I want it to be focused around success in your business and what the end game here in Arbonne is for you. So give me a wave again if you plan on being a national vice president. Just, yeah. Everyone, I hope so. And you know what? Not everybody does want to be that, and that's okay. But I'm going to pretend like everyone on this call wants to be a national vice president, okay? So that's amazing. So sponsoring is absolutely the lifeblood of your business. I'm not going to share with you anything. Yeah, ENVP. That's right, Sam. I'm not going to share with you anything that Danielle and other leaders haven't told you before. If there is some mind-blowing nugget that you learned, please tell me, but I'm sure you've heard a lot of it before. But don't you sometimes pick something up just from somebody else saying it differently to you at some point? So if I can really just get off this training, reaching or helping one person have that little bit more motivation or a different mindset around your own thoughts and your own actions, then I will be so happy. It is my intention from this training to make sure that you are more open to who you really are and the potential that you have inside of you to be and create whatever it is that you desire. Because I know that we've got those little voices in our minds or sitting on our shoulder that tells us we can't, and that tells us it's hard, and all of the reasons why we can't. But if there's one thing I want to tell you, it's that if you have the desire, you can and you will. Do you guys agree? If you have a big enough desire, you can and you will, because you will not allow anything to take you out of the game. Okay, so sponsoring really is what I want you to focus on as we go through this, because you all know, yes, you can sell product in this business yourself, but that is never really going to get you up those levels in our compensation plan all the way up to MVP. You need a volunteer army of consultants who are passionate and dedicated just like you are in order to get there. And one thing before I jump into this, I'll say too, is I want you to all really, really think about and be really honest with yourself as to how all in you are. What is your mindset telling you about your position and where you want to go and how fast you want to get there? Nobody gets to tell you that, by the way. I'm not here telling you you have to get here in this amount of time. This is up to you and what you want. But I'll tell you one thing. I believe that people will join your team when you are certain and you are all in and you are dedicated to going to the top with absolute clarity. Because people want to follow somebody else who know where they're going. They do not want to follow a wishy-washy leader. They do not want to follow someone with one toe in and one toe out. Like, you got to be like all in. Would you agree, Danielle? Just give me a big nod if you agree. Yeah, all in. Okay, so I'm going to show you my 2 favorite books, and probably you've read them before. Has everybody read The Secret? Sure, you all have in this amazing team, The Secret. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but I'm actually going to share with you some quotes out of Think and Grow Rich. If you have not read Think and Grow Rich, can you just please put not me, just so I know if you haven't read it, or yes, if you have read it. Okay, not me, okay, a few. Okay, so study this book. This book was first introduced to me probably in like 2012 by a big business coach in the States. And honestly, I could not read it. I wasn't ready to read it. And I'm like, oh man, it's like doing my head in. I just couldn't read it. And now it's all full of highlighter because I love to read it now. You have to be ready to read it. But this just shows you guys that the law of attraction has been around forever. Yes, The Secret brought it to light for many of us, but this book was actually written in 1908. Good. A lot of you have read it. Yes, Napoleon Hill. So I'm going to share with you some things based around success and the law of attraction straight from that book. So I'm not making it up, but I'm going to share with you some of the things that I've always kept in the back of my mind that I 100% believe in. I believe it is no accident that the top 1% make it to the top. They made a decision, they believed they could get there, but then they did the work, right? We can't just sit around on a rock and meditate and be a national vice president or get our dream holiday or whatever we want. We've got to have that belief and that inner knowing and that burning desire that then propels us, yeah, if only, that propels us to take the action, which is then going to bring us those results. But I believe that you can have all of those things that I talked about at the start, the same website, the same products, all of that. But if you don't have the right mindset and the belief, it will just be a lot more learning for you on your journey. Is that fair enough? Okay, so let's cover some of these things off. And definitely, girls, let me know if you need to boot me off or if I'm taking too long. So for those of you who don't know, yes, this book is very, very old. I'm not going to go into the history of it all, but in a nutshell, it is based on interviews of 500 of America's most wealthy and successful men. These men did not come from money. They were not born into riches. But basically what was worked out was that there were, I think, 13 principles of success, things that they all had in common, and these were all documented. So I'm going to share some of these things out of that book for you. And you know, the fact that they haven't come from money, and a lot of these men were actually born into poverty, what that shows you is that you can learn all of this. You can learn it, you can study it, and you can implement it into your life to get the same results. Okay, so the 6 key factors of unlimited success. If you want to write them down, you can. Or Danielle, I can send you a PDF on this later if you want. So the first one is to realize that thoughts are things. Whether you believe that or not, and I'm sorry for all the people who don't like the woo-woo, but I'm here to tell you it's fact, okay? It is fact. Whatever we are thinking in our mind, you know, repeatedly, the emotions that we are feeling about those thoughts is literally attracting that to you and having that show up in your physical world. If we had more time, I could give you endless examples, but let me give you my most powerful example. So when I was 21, I went to a fortune teller. I was already with my husband, Jared. Went to a fortune teller. This fortune teller, it was 1 o'clock in the morning, my friend. She had like 9 cats and lived in a caravan park. Never been so scared in my life. Me and my friend, we go to this appointment, and this lady, the first thing she said to me, she says, hold out your hands. And I held out my hands and she says, you have healing hands. I was a beauty therapist at the time doing massages and facials and things all day long. And my birth number, it actually says healing hands. How would she know that, right? So she had my attention. She said to me, she looked straight in my eyes and she said, you will have 4 children. You will have 2 boys and 2 girls. What do you think I have? I have 4 children. I have 2 boys and I have 2 girls. You could not swing that if you tried. But I'm telling you, from that day when I was 21 years old, I lodged that in the back of my mind and have always believed that I would have 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls. That's just one example. I've used this countless times in my life. So thoughts are things. So what are you thinking about? Okay, so keep that in your mind as we go through this. I'm going to give you a couple of little quotes here. Success comes to those who are success conscious. Okay? Success comes to those who are success conscious. If you are not desiring an incredible life, if you are not thinking about all the things that you'd love to enjoy, whatever that is for you, then how is it ever going to know to come to you? Where is the pathway? Success comes to those who are success conscious. This is not me making it up, straight out the book. This means that you have to allow your mind to think and feel about being successful in order for that to make its way to you. The next one is poverty consciousness will voluntarily seize the mind that is not occupied with money consciousness. Now, this book is a lot about money, right? But that's okay. Hopefully we all want to earn some good money. But that basically means poverty consciousness will voluntarily seize the mind that is not occupied with money consciousness. Same thing. If you are not filling your mind with learning, with positivity, with growth, with thinking about all the ways that you can succeed and get all of the things that only you know you want in your life, what happens is doubt, fear, and limitation is going to take up the space that you haven't filled with the success conscious thoughts. Does that make sense? There's a hole, something's going to go in there. It's going to be the poverty consciousness or unlimited and abundance. Okay? Okay, here's another one I love. When riches begin to come so quickly and in such great abundance that one wonders where they have been hiding all those lean years. Arbonne is exactly like this. Because when you start, you feel like you're work, and you're asking and you're working and you're workshopping and you're doing all those things, but you're like, where's my pay? Where's my team? But if you stick with it, one day, it's like the floodgates open and you will see all of that effort that you put in beforehand come to fruition in such great abundance that you won't believe it. Do you guys believe that? It will, okay? Okay, the second one is you must have a burning desire. And in this section of the book, they talk about Henry Ford and how he developed the very first V8 engine when there was no V8 engine. And he had teams of people dedicated to create that V8 engine, all telling him, it can't be done. We've tried everything. We can't do it. He kept saying, keep trying. Just keep trying. We are going to create it. Keep trying. He had a burning desire to make that the outcome. And of course, it happened. He did not say, I will keep my eyes open for another opportunity or idea in case I fail. How many of you have got something on the back burner in case you fail at Arbonne? Or do you know that you are going to succeed? Are you all in? Are you burning the ships because you know that this is the path for you and you are staying until and way beyond that? Okay? Okay, so this is a bit of a long one, so listen carefully. This one says, these steps call for no hard labor or sacrifice, but the successful application of these steps does call for sufficient imagination to enable one to see and understand that the accumulation of money cannot be left to chance, good luck, or fortune. I might just read that one again. These steps call for no hard labor or sacrifice, but the successful application of these steps does call for sufficient imagination to enable one to see and understand that the accumulation of money cannot be left to chance, good luck, or fortune. Good fortune and luck. So that means what I said before, like you can't just sit around on your rock, on your tushy, meditating in the sun, wishing and hoping and praying that Arbonne's going to work out for you, right? It's a system that we are putting together to get the right outcome, okay? So the next one is, there is a difference between wishing and hoping for something and actually being ready to receive it. And I really find, that that's true, especially with people going MVP, right? Or area or any other level. You can be working towards that, but when you are actually ready and know deep within you that it's happening, like no question, you are completely detached from the outcome, that's when it's going to happen. Your inner knowing and your belief is so strong that you are actually this time ready to receive it. Rather than, oh yeah, I'm going to be that, waiting for it to catch up to you. When you are truly ready, it will come. Okay? And my favorite, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Right? You've probably heard that one a million times. I'm going to speed up because I think I've got 10 minutes to go. Okay, the next one, number 3, is specialized knowledge. Okay, is this helpful, you guys? Are you liking this? Let me know if you are. Yeah, good. Okay, so the next one is specialized knowledge. And this one, it says general knowledge, no matter how great in quantity or variety, is of but little use in the accumulation of money. Knowledge will not attract money unless it is organized and intelligently directed through the practical plans of action to the definite end of the accumulation of money. Now, what that means for us, you guys, you have to have specialized knowledge on 3 things, really. You've got to have specialized knowledge on the network marketing industry. How many of you guys have read books about network marketing specifically? Give me a wave if you have. Yes, great. I'm sure you have. Like, you guys are in like a winning team. You're probably like, oh, Kim, we know all of this, right? But a lot of people don't. They think, well, I'm in Arbonne. I'm going to learn everything about Arbonne. But if you can read books specifically about our industry and almost become like your own little expert on network marketing, then you're always going to be able to overcome those objections. You're going to be seen to your network like more of an expert, right? Because you're all over it. You know it. You have specialized knowledge on this industry. You need to have the same thing about Arbonne. That's why we need to know the Discover Arbonne inside and out. And if you're standing at a barbecue talking to 8 new people, you better be able to talk about Arbonne and what Arbonne is, what we stand for, what we do, and why it's such an incredible opportunity. And then, of course, that third learning phase is all about yourself, right? Understanding how so powerful you are. You are far more powerful than you give yourself credit for. You are absolutely abundant and limitless. And the more you learn about yourself, the more you're going to be able to grow. Because we can never, ever grow a business bigger than what we can grow ourselves, right? So be an expert on yourself. Have all that specialized knowledge around you and what you know and your power and how much you can give to others, okay? Number 4 is decision, okay? Those who reach decisions promptly and definitely know what they want and generally get it. The leaders in every walk of life decide firmly and quickly. So same here, when you want to go up a level, when you want to earn an AIT trip, it is a decision. It is that snap decision, then detaching from it, doing the work, of course, but detach from the outcome. You have made your decision. You have decided the workings are going to happen. Everything's going to move out of the way to support you, and you are going to get that thing done. Now, last October, when we went to Fiji, that was the very first AIT trip I'd ever been on. Have you guys been on an AIT trip? Give me a wave if you have. I can't see everyone anyway. That was the first one I ever went on, and oh my goodness, like it was incredible. So when they released this next one to Vietnam, I decided already. I decided that I not only was going to earn it, I was going to finish in the top 5. I earned that trip 2 months early and came in at number 4 in all of Australia and New Zealand. And that was a firm decision, let me tell you. I told my kids, I'm earning it. I'm going to be in the top 5. I'm going to earn it with ease. It was on my fridge, and I did. Now, if you had asked me back then how, I would have said, I don't bloody know. I don't know how, but I'm going to, because that is my intention to do that. And I did, okay? So decide quickly and decide firmly. I will tell you one other awesome thing about decision that I learned a long time ago from the same business coach I talked about before. Ali Brown was her name. And she said to me, probably to a lot of people, but it's just stayed in my mind. She said to me, make decisions. This is going to be one of the best things I ever tell you, so write this down. Make decisions from where you want to be, not where you are now. So after she said that to me, whenever I was making a big decision, I was always like, now, what would Ali do? What would Ali do? What would Ali say? Because she was making decisions from an empowered position, from where she wanted to be, not necessarily from where she was now. So anytime I sign up to some coaching program or I decide to, invest in myself in some sort of way, I'm like, is this going to take me where I want to be? Is it a future thing that I'm going to be like more forward in my journey if I make this decision? And I picture myself as already that next level of successful person. What would that person do? Is that person going to buy their ticket to AAC? Yes. Is that person going to buy their Vegas ticket without even thinking about it? Yes. Is that person going to show up to be on these trainings? Yes, you are all here. Okay, so make decisions as if you are already that ENVP. What would they do? Okay, that's another one of my favorite ones. Okay, 2 more. The next one is persistence. Again, vital to our Arbonne businesses because we need persistence in this business. How many people do you know who have joined your team and then really just gone to that witness protection, vanished out of your life, stopped, getting messages to you? I cannot count the amount of people that have done that to me. I'm like, don't you want to be my friend anymore? Like, they're gone. They've run away. They don't have the dedication to stay. And it actually breaks my heart because I know what they're quitting on. I know what they've taken themselves out of the game for now, right? But you have to have persistence. You need to stay. What's that? They always say in Arbonne, don't quit before payday, right? Because I have seen time and time again, one new sponsored person that comes in and shakes everything up and brings new life. It's true when they say you are one person away from, changing up the energy in your entire business. And that's actually happened in my team, right? So have that persistence to absolutely stay in Arbonne. Okay, and then the last one that I want to share with you is also so relevant. I hope you realize that all of these that I've shared with you are so relevant to your business. It's the power of a mastermind. Do you know entrepreneurs pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a year to be members of a mastermind. Do you guys all know what a mastermind is? Just put nope if you've got no idea. Okay, some no's. So masterminds are groups of like-minded people who come together. So a lot of them in the entrepreneurial world, you know, like when I had my wedding business, like it's just me. I have to come up with the marketing. I have to come up with the sales. I have to like write all the brochures and everything for my website, like literally everything on my own. So you can feel very alone in business. Who am I going to talk to about my business, right? I don't have that business anymore, but when I did. So entrepreneurs, they find a coach and they join a mastermind, and it costs loads of money to do that. And what happens in the mastermind is you're around other high energy people, people that want to go somewhere, people who want to do something. Everyone's bouncing ideas off. You've got that for free in Arbonne. You are already in your own mastermind, being in this team, having other people like me or whoever else do training for you guys to get a different perspective on things. So, you know, the power of a mastermind, think about it this way. Have you ever been completely stuck for an idea? Say you've got to go to a fancy dress party and you've got to go, I don't know, dressed up as something starting with M. And you're like, I just don't know. I just can't think of anything. And you're like, I just don't know. Like, and for weeks, you're like stressing. I don't know what I'm going to go as. And then you might call a friend. And then you start talking about it. Oh, have you got any ideas for what I can go of? And I've thought of everything and I just don't know, like an M. She goes, why don't you just go as Minnie Mouse? You're like, of course. Oh, thank you so much. It's that extra mind that is going to give you more opportunity, things that you haven't thought about yourself. So use this team that you're in. Show up to our trainings. Go to all the events. Because when you are surrounded by other like-minded people, more ideas can flow. Have you ever not wanted to turn up to a training or not wanted to go to an event? Let me tell you, when you ever feel like that, that is when you need to go. You need that event and that event needs you, right? So that's the power of a mastermind. So here's what this one says about that. It says, no two minds ever come together without thereby creating a third intangible force, which may be likened to a third mind. So two people together can create what would be like a third mind. How powerful is that? So they are the 6 keys of unlimited success that I absolutely love and took away from that book. But I really just want you guys to realize, like, if you have any resistance around the law of attraction, please go and just start with the secret, okay? Because when you really understand that everything is made up of vibrating, powerful energy, and that includes your entire being and your thoughts, then you will mind what you're thinking. I want you to think about, you know, you're walking around like a radio antenna. You've got like antennas on your head, and your frequency is going out into the universe. So if you've got a really shitty frequency or a really low vibe frequency, you are literally walking around with this energy field coming out of you, attracting like a magnet everything that is similar to that to you. Can you all think of somebody who is negative Nancy? Negative Nancy, like she's got that many problems, you just can't even keep up with them. She's constantly complaining. She's a big victim. Nothing's ever working out for her. She gets out of the bed on the wrong side every single day. And then you know other people that everything falls into place for them. Everything. I'm telling you, what is different is their mindset. What is different is the vibe that they're putting out. What is different is the fact that they're focusing on what they do want rather than what they don't want. How easy is it to say, I don't want to run late. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want the other. You are asking for it. You are like ordering it when you say that. So when you're going to run late, here's an example. When you're going to run late, instead of saying, I don't want to run late, because even though you are saying don't want to, it's still run late. You're going to be late. You're going to get every red traffic light and stub your toe on the way out the door. But if you can just reframe that to say, I can't wait to be early. You know, like I'm going to be early. I'm excited to be early. I'm excited to be early. You'll be early. One thing I've trained myself to say too, especially when I'm talking to my kids and stuff, I used to say all the time, don't forget to wear your helmet. Don't forget to pack your bag. How often do we all say that? Don't forget to. What you want to replace that with is remember to. Remember to wear your helmet, Jet. Remember to pack your bag, Kai. Remember to, not don't forget to. Does that make sense? Little reframes like that change your life. Absolutely change your life. So anyway, I've probably talked for too long and I could talk to you for a week straight, but I better be quiet now. And I hope somebody got something out of it. And I would love to know if you did. And I just want to thank Danielle so much for having me. And I would love for you guys to just go out knowing that you are here for the right reason. You are here because you have selected yourself to show up, and you have everything inside of you already to be so powerful and to create and attract whatever it is you desire. But you've got to do the work on yourself. You've got to learn the law of attraction and be so mindful of those vibes and beliefs that you're putting out there. And if you need to do some work on changing your beliefs, that will be the best time you ever spend working on yourself. That's it.
Thank you, Kim. That is absolutely amazing. I know I just, loved everything about that, and the chat is absolutely going crazy. Does anyone else have any questions? Now would be the time to unmute yourself and ask any questions.
Can we get the PDF, please? That would be great.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're able to send that through to Danny,
you.
that would be amazing. There is one question. Kim, can you share the intensity in which you started because of the need? So what is possible quickly?
What? Sorry, say that again.
Kim, can you share the intensity in which you started because of the need? So when you started your business?
Am I allowed to say that?
Oh.
Hey Kim, sorry, it's Danny here. I'm actually in Broome, like amongst a cyclone and sitting with March flies. So
I'll tell you guys anything you want. I just don't want to get in trouble for anything.
No. Well, it was my question. That's why I thought I just from, our conversations, you don't need to mention a dollar figure, but just, I know when we spoke, you blew my mind with how when you started up and you had such a need for it, you went hard and what you actually created very quickly. You earned a really decent amount quickly because you went in hard and you knew what you wanted. And I think sometimes that momentum at the beginning, but we can always create it at any time. So I was just hoping you could sort of, repeat some of that.
Okay, so here's the thing. 3 months before I started my Arbonne business, my entire world went upside down and crazy to the point where I was walking around going, what the hell just happened to my life? Without going into the whole big long story, which I will absolutely do one day for anybody who wants to hear it. I know Danny was like, what? When I told her the other week. But what happened was someone very close to me, my auntie, who was more like my mum, she passed away, right? But what had happened was she had a big brain hemorrhage, like literally weeks after her retirement. She had moved up from Sydney to live with us. 3 weeks later, ironing my husband's work shirts one night, said she didn't feel well, massive bleed on her brain. From that night, it set off a snowball of events that you would not even believe. It would take me so long to explain it all to you. You wouldn't believe it, like disaster after disaster. So for the whole of the next year, my auntie, I was her sole carer. I'd already wound down my businesses that I had because I was also just had my 4th baby. So she was only 3 months old when this happened. Okay. So my auntie, over the next year, she had brain damage. I was her full-time carer. I also had a baby and 3 other kids. Okay. And over that next year, she had 4 more brain operations in and out of hospital. The hospital was over an hour away from where I lived. blah, blah, blah. So I had that going on. Over that whole year, my husband, my beautiful husband, who was so amazing, was loathing going to his job. Knew that he had so much more potential, wanted to create his own business. But for any of you guys who have your own businesses, it's so stressful and worrying for two people in a family to both have their own business, right? I always played along in my businesses and he always earned the money, right? And he's like, I need to have my own business. And I'm like, oh my God, you know? Anyway, what ended up happening was towards the end of that year, he said, I have to leave. Like, he was just so stressed out at his job, so unfulfilled in his job, knew he had a bigger calling. He walked in and quit his job. Multiple six-figure income, left his job. So now I have my auntie unwell, a baby, 3 other kids, and my husband has walked out on his job. So other stuff going on in the background with houses and stuff that we were building. But anyway, what happened the very next day after my husband quit his job was my auntie had another brain hemorrhage that put her on life support for 4 days, and she ended up passing away from that. Right? So now I'm in total, utter grief and shock. I have 4 children and my husband's left his job. Can anyone relate to anything like this? Has anyone had things like this happen? So, long story short, a couple of months later, that's when I started my Arbonne business. My husband was still figuring out what he wanted to do. We needed the money. Now, because I jumped into my Arbonne with such decision and such force to be a success, you wouldn't believe the amount of money I was paid in my first month. You know when they used to show the amount on the screen, like the lowest and the highest? Like, it was like way more than that. Like, I'm talking like in area manager money, the first payment I ever received from Arbonne, because I needed to work. So I'm just sharing with you, I had a big why and a big need. I knew I wanted to align myself with Arbonne anyway. Like, my background's in the beauty industry. So once I decided, I knew this would be great for me for so many reasons. But at the time, you would have had to pick me up off the floor to start this business. But I did it anyway. That's the short version.
Yep, that was powerful. Very powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And yeah, it is very much the power of a decision, isn't it? And how big your why is as to what you're willing to do and how uncomfortable you're willing to get.
And I'll tell you one thing too, one more, if you've just got a second. So I know from talking to a lot of people, we want to do what's so convenient for us. We want to like sponsor the person that lives 10 minutes down the road. My first workshop I ever did on my own was days after I started and 3 hours from where I lived. How many of you drive 3 hours to do workshops? I drove 3 hours and did 3 or 4 back-to-back workshops while I was there, and that is what set me up for success. I was like an instant area manager. And nobody can take my start story away from me, because I launched myself into my business. Yay, someone's driving 5 hours. Yeah, and I did that too, to launch someone in Canada. So it's absolutely the decision. What are you going to do, and what are the rewards that you're going to reap? And know that you're all doing it. Everything's going to unfold for you when you are courageous enough to take the action. Okay?
Yeah, it's that no matter what attitude, isn't it? It's not just, oh, look, this is local, or it's over an hour, I can't be bothered, or, you know, I'm washing my hair that night, or whatever it is. It's like you've got to, you know, you're going to have to sacrifice, and you are going to have to miss things, but it is so, so worth it. And I love that, because, yeah, I'm all about that. So, yeah, I just think that is amazing. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. I know that everyone will have gotten a lot out of that. Danny, you're unmuted. Do you want to talk? Are you unmuted?
Am I? Yeah, no, I am.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Kim. I really appreciate you sharing with us today. You are an absolute powerhouse. I'm so proud of you, what you've created as well. And yeah, just really grateful you jumped on and shared with the team.
Thank you. Thank you for listening, everybody. And I hope you got something out of it. And you're all amazing. You have the most amazing leader. So I cannot wait to see all of you just absolutely flourish is the new word, isn't it? So thank you so much.
See you guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank